Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 7, One Hit Wonder or Global Force. Charts, clout, and culture. You get me, man? It keeps just coming it keeps just coming back. It keeps happening, man. Like this episode 7, I'm really excited for it. We've got Rema being named the One Hit Wonder by Billboard. Yikes. We've got so much stuff going on. We've got Wizkid, who's just surpassed an incredible legend. We've got a little bit of controversy. Odumodu finally spoke on Blaqbones. Oh my days! Like he literally had an interview in Paul's, and he had a conversation where he opened up about the Blaqbones situation. Then we've got Omotola, Omosexy stepping in the scene. We had comments over an interview. Like, so let's get straight into it. You get me? So the first thing we're going to ask is Rema and the One Hit Wonder debate. This caused a lot of issues. Like when I came across it on X, I was just like, wow, man, people are not smiling right now. No one is happy. They're like, yo, what the hell is this? Like, what the hell is this? Like, why is Rema being called the One Hit Wonder? Rema's fans were going ham, guys. I was like, oh man, this is bad. This is quite bad. Oh yeah, before I finally dive into, forgive me. Before I finally dive into the whole Rema One Hit Wonder situation, I also listened to some new music. I'm going to be covering that as well. Like, you know what, this episode is going to be fire. But yeah, so with the whole Rema thing, Billboard's 2025 chart beat article, the 25 biggest one hit wonders of the 21st century, listed Rema's Calm Down remix, which peaked at number 3 on the Hot 100 with a record 57 weeks for Afrobeats. Wow, that's it for 57 weeks. That's crazy. As the 6th biggest one-hit wonder since 2000. Fans pushed back, pointing to his chart-topping hits across Europe and Africa, like Dumebi. That was his breakout single in 2022. And his album's 170-week world album run. His album's 170-week world album run, plus his fresh number 29 100 entry on Don Toliver's Second Hand. Yeah, Don Toliver is a US artist. He's really good. He's really big as well. I'll say he's an A-lister. He featured Rema on a track called Second Hand. I'm not sure. I think it's a feature. I'm not sure if it's a remix. But anyway, Rema's on that track and actually went up to it came in at number 29 on the Hot 100 Billboard entry. The debate highlights Afrobeats' global surge despite US 100 challenges for artists without pop features. Okay, so here's the thing, right? What Billboard actually meant. This is what Billboard actually meant. Now let me tell you guys what the one hit wonder thing is. So the list includes acts that have logged exactly 100 hits. You get me? Like one hit in the 100s, like it's a list. So the list includes acts that have logged at exactly 100 hits in a lead role. So like you are the lead artist, you're the one featuring someone else. Yeah, between charts dated January 1st, 2000 and December 28th, 2024. You get me? Songs are ranked based on performance on the chart in the span. Songs are ranked based on performance on the chart in that span via an inverse point system, with weeks at number 1 earning the greatest value and weeks at number 100 earning the least. Due to the changes in chart mythology over the years, eras are weighted to account for different chart turnover rates over various periods. So basically what they're trying to say here is that for you to actually get on this one hit wonder number 1, you first need to be a lead artist. You must own the song. Then you have to have actually made it to the top 100 and picked for a certain while. You get. So if you made it to like number 1 and you picked for, what exactly did they say? If you made it to, songs are ranked based on performance on the chart in that span via an inverse point system, with weeks at number 1 earning the greatest value and weeks at number 100 earning the least. So if you've been at number 1 or number 3 for a while, or you picked there, your value is higher than someone who who came in at number 100. Does that make sense? So even though you are still counted as obviously a one-hit wonder, even if you picked at number 100, but it depends obviously as to who picked at a higher level. So Rema that picked at number 3, if I'm getting it correctly, if I'm wrong, please let me know. But Rema that picked at number 3, yeah, like he is obviously going to be valued, and they're going to put it up there because he lasted for a while, unlike someone who, let's say, came in at number 100 at some point in his career, but you have other people that come in at number 100 during that period, so they'll probably kick that person off. I hope I'm making sense. Yeah, so that's just for the Billboard. Just this before we go into the debate. Then obviously I've spoken about the fact that the lead artist with only one major entry within that time frame, and I've explained the chart methodology. So now this is the reason why fans are powering. The fans are saying, look, Dumebi that came out in April 2022 was like, a banger. What did he say? Dumebi was released in 2019 as part of Rema's EP called debut EP called Rema EP. It was his breakout single, and then it topped Apple Music Nigeria and established Rema as a fast rising star in Afrobeats. You get me? So that's what they're saying, that like this Dumebi song was so crazy. The track was featured on Obama's 2019 summer playlist. The song has surpassed 100 million streams on Spotify and garnered over 73 million views on YouTube as of early 2024. Sorry, excuse me. As of early 2024. So, and he even maybe has received a gold certification in France. So the thing is here, and it's had a lot of remixes and all that, but the thing is, that's what the fans are saying, that how can you be saying Rema is a one-hit wonder when he's got Dumebi, he's got global album success. His album was only 170-week world albums run, which is absolutely insane. Like that's actually one of the craziest things they found. The fans are really upset. Like, yo, what the hell is this? Like, how are you going to be calling Rema when he wonder when he has, what's the name of the album? Braves and Roses. You get me? That's gone on for 170 weeks on Billboard World Album Charts. So they're paranoid, like, what the hell is that? And then you also have Don Toliver featuring Rema on the track, and he's back on the top 100, but like they said, it has to be a lead artist. So even though Don Toliver featured Rema and Rema is back on Hot 100, it's not Rema's song, it's Don Toliver's song, guys. I'm not supporting Billboard, I'm just letting you guys know what the Billboard standard is. Now here's the bigger question, right? Forget all these things I'm saying, right? Forget all these things. Here's the bigger question. Is US chart dominance still the ultimate validation? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, are we relying too much on the US chart dominance? Because don't forget, we just had a conversation in the last episode where we were talking about Grammys and the validation of having Western institutions for our own craft and our own African sound. Now that's basically the same thing, because are we using the US chart as a litmus test for the ultimate validation? Like, okay, when you get on the US one, forget anything else across the world. Forget what you're doing anywhere else. Forget whatever impact you're making, how big your sound is, what you're touring, what you're selling out on your tick. No, if you don't make it to the US Billboard Hot 100, you are not selling. Do you know that's actually a really good question, because how, like, at the end of the day, how relevant is it? Like, how big is the US market on its own? Yes, we know that it's a huge country. It's been able to cultivate its entertainment structure. It's been a pioneer for entertainment for the world for a long time. But we've gotten to the point where social media has made the whole world a village, and everyone is catching up. And at this point, Afrobeats Afrobeats is literally leading. Is leading everything. Is in terms of music now, in terms of culture, in terms of sound. You know, and I'm not trying to sound pompous or nothing because I'm Nigerian and literally we're the giants of Africa, no cap. But like really, it would be unbiased about everything. Afrobeats is global. You get me? Afrobeats is no longer just something that is in the house or in the clubs. Or people are using it for across social media. Check out, and you see people using social Afrobeats for literally everything. And the clubs across the world, Afrobeats is the main thing being played for people to vibe to. Before, people in the club just used to, used to be about posting up maybe one or two dance moves, and then the girls probably doing their thing. But the minute Afrobeat blew up, it became cool to dance again. It became cool to do your thing in the club, sweat as much as you like. Nobody sends you. You're catching the vibe. Afrobeat became a global thing, a global message of joy for people, and like that's what you're good. And are we going to really allow the US charts control the narrative as to how big or what an African artist is, or what their craft is, if they're a one hit wonder or not? Even a deep angle, like I was saying, is Afrobeats global or globally niche outside Africa, outside America? That's another question, because Afrobeats is global, but is it globally niche, or is it globally niche outside America? Because America has a culture of their own, and they believe this is what it is. Just that what I'm saying, like that's how they move. That Americans are the best, and I respect that. You can't. I'm Nigerian, and I believe Nigerians are the best in whatever we do as well. So no fault to them. But then the point is that they've been leading the world for so long in terms of entertainment, market, economy, everything. The world tends to look at them for validation as to art, in most art, like music and stuff. So, but at this point where we have to realize that there are certain things that have grown beyond relying on Western institutions for our own validation, especially when it comes to our art. Because we can't have a situation like this where Rema has literally been, that boy he's been a leader of his generation, and I cannot even doubt it. Like, there was even a tweet where he was like, it's no longer the big three, it's the big four. I can't even fault the young guy, man. Like, he's doing his thing. So why are we going to put him in a situation where we're relying on the American charts and the American media to tell us who our artist is? As long as we see the numbers, we see him doing the numbers that reflect, basically his, let's say his lifestyle, his music, his, you see the numbers in his tours. Like, you don't really need someone else to tell you when you can see it. Do you get one? Yes, at some point we do need structure to be able to have certain people give us validation as to our work, because that's how you're able to monetize and put value on things. Because not everyone is as inquisitive or as knowledgeable about everything, about certain things, as everyone else is. But then we need our own, African institutions saying, yo, this is what this is, and putting value on that as well. Do you understand? Making it good, making the artist feel appreciated, and being unbiased about their opinion. Billboard is one of the most recognized platforms for artistry and music across the world. Don't get it twisted. But then, like I had said, just like you have in the Grammys and you have in the Oscars, they lack people in those rooms that actually appreciate or are knowledgeable enough about our own artists, our own art and their craft and our craft. So that's just basically what it is at the end of the day. Because we do really need to understand that, does international dominance matter more than US charts? That's what we need to understand. We have to ask that question. Does international dominance matter more than US charts? And at the end of the day, yeah, it does. US charts gives you validation as to the brands they've established over there and the structure they have over there. Do you get me? And it gives you access to their market. That's what I feel the US chart does. It gives you access to their market and gives them access to your own fans, your own fan base, and in this day and time, your own algorithm.
So it's a symbolic or give and take relationship, you know, and there's nothing wrong there. But at the end of the day, you have to understand that global dominance matters way more than US charts. We cannot in any way, like, you know, try and compare both, because if you're on the US charts and you don't have global dominance, I'm sorry, like, you're just gonna be one of the artists that theater, or you know, you're not an A-lister, you're not a B-lister, you're just there, you can get gigs, whatnot, going around the cities. Like in the US, they have a lot of those artists that they are big enough just within their city, within their towns, or just within the US, but outside the US, nobody knows who they are. But if you go in the US and you hear the music, you're like, yo, you ask them who is this? They're like, yo, are you crazy, man? You know? But really, that's the truth. Because the US is a country on its own, but at the same time, it's kind of like a world on its own. So we can't really rely on them, even though they were the pioneers in this. The world has sort of caught up, and the world is catching up. So in terms of catching up, we need to have our own institutions that look at the value for what we have and what our artists have been able to accomplish, and then speak on it, and then not have, at this point in time, a Western institution that doesn't, even though it has the brand name behind it and the value behind it, that doesn't understand the artistry or understand the craft to speak on it anymore. And that's just what I'm saying. And if they can have people in those rooms that can do that, that's great. Then that makes a lot of sense. That's having the best of both worlds, where the brand value attached to those brands and their, you know, commentary value, having someone in those rooms that also understand the craft, understand the artist, speak on it. I won't have a problem. But right now, I understand the Rema fans para, because from what they've spoken about his album, you know, I think Rave and Roses, I think that's the name of the album. Well, yes, Rave and Roses. And then the album being 170 weeks on the Billboard World Albums chart, you know, and literally talking about the boy being back on number 29 with Don Toliver's second hand remix. Like, Rema really deserves the respect, and I understand the anger of his fans. I understand where they're coming from, you know. And then the other thing at the same time is Rema's Calm Down remix success tied to Selena Gomez. This is actually very important, and it's quite funny for me, because let me do this. Let me show you guys. Sorry, forgive me for the honey, man. They're honeying outside the streets. But I actually took my time, and I was like, let me check this out. So the original version of Rema's Calm Down, the song, YouTube views has over 660 million, right? And Spotify streams have over 630 million. Now, industry experts and Rema's team noted that the original song was capable on its own and already buzzing on the rhythmic radio. Industry experts and Rema's team noted that the original song was capable on its own and already buzzing on rhythmic radio. Selena Gomez herself expressed gratitude to Rema for choosing her to be part of one of the biggest songs in the world, acknowledging the track's existing strength. But here's the kicker now, right now. Do you realize that the remix with Selena Gomez, the YouTube views is over 1 billion, and the Spotify streams is over 1.5 billion. So if people are actually asking, you know, was Selena Gomez necessary or rather was the remix success tied to Selena Gomez? Yes, the success of the remix is tied to Selena Gomez. That one, I can never argue that. I'm sorry, my guys. Like, that one is facts. If the original track did 619 million streams, and then the remix has on the same song has done over 1 billion on YouTube, that's views, and then the streams is 619 as well on Spotify. Then the streams for the remix is 1.5 billion. Like, the remix is calmly tied to Selena Gomez, but she herself has acknowledged that the song on its own had a lot of strength. And for the song Calm Down, the original song, to have done 619 million views on YouTube on its own, it shows you that it shows you that it's already a banger on its own. So the fact that he had Selena Gomez on the remix, I beg, it doesn't take anything away from the track. Before you guys start paranoid, it doesn't take anything away from the track. It was just added values, like saying you have cake and you put ice cream on top. No, icing. Not ice cream. You put icing on top. So all the Rema fans, just calm down. Hey, that was a nice one. I give myself that. That was a nice one. Well, no, seriously, Rema fans, just calm down. No pun intended. Just take it for what it is. Billboard giving credence or respect to a song that Rema dropped at the time that he did, and they are right about the fact that he had not gotten back to the Billboard Hot 100 to up until that moment. So, but even though, like I said, we need to have our own institutions give credence and values to our own stuff and stop relying on US charts, because at this point the world, like Afrobeats, is global already. It's way bigger than just what the US charts can determine at this point, in my view anyway, except they end up getting the right people in those rooms, and then we'll start hearing the right conversations come out, the right awards given, and I guess we'll stop being so upset about it. Now, pivoting into another situation with awards, it's crazy. It's crazy. The big Wiz, Babanla. I have to do this first. You get me? I have to start with doing Babanla, the banger. You get me? So, for those who don't know, now you know. According to Chat Africa, you get me? Let me do this right for you. According to Chat Africa, Wizkid is now Africa's best-selling act, surpassing Algeria's Cheb Khaled's 81 million plus units sold. He is the first African artist to hit 20 plus audio streams on demand, and remains the continent's most awarded artist with over 178 awards. Babanla, first of all, before I go into the Kiniko, we have to understand what that means. 20 billion streams milestone. That's absolutely incredible. And 81 million plus units sold, surpassing Cheb Khaled, who was an Algerian artist and one of the biggest African artists ever. Do you understand how impactful Wizkid's run is? 20 billion streams. Do you guys know what 20 billion streams is? Like, that's insane. And they keep going down on Wizkid, 170 awards. Like, but then the crazy thing at the same time is, okay, before I go there, let me just say that. So before I go into the numbers, I was going to go straight into the numbers. I remember, because if I'm going straight to numbers, I have to attack certain topics, and I would not want, I want to go back to this petty stuff. So I might as well just do it. So when this thing came out on Twitter, obviously that's where all the nonsense and shenanigans goes down. A Twitter user then asked Grok AI, how many units Burna Boy and Davido have sold. All this big tweeting is just jokes for me. Like, how are they? Like, oh my god, Wizkid MC. How about? Yeah, they're celebrating Wizkid. You're asking Grok how many units Davido and Burna have sold. Anyway, Grok AI replied saying, based on Chatmaster's data, right, as of early 2026, Burna Boy has about 13.4 million equivalent album units sold worldwide. For Davido, total global estimate isn't fully detailed, but estimates from various sources suggest around 4 to 5 million units, with over 750k in the US alone. And so the figures can vary by mythology. You get me? Now that's what Grok AI said. Now let me tell you what Chats Africa is. Chats Africa is a leading music data and entertainment platform that tracks the performance of African music artists and albums across the continent and globally. It primarily serves as a music intelligence entity, providing real-time rankings and insights into popular genres such as Afrobeats, Amapiano, and Bonga flavor, which is basically the combined sound of what most African artists deal with across all of Africa. Is either Amapiano, Afrobeats, or Bonga flavor, which is one issue that I have with Grammys. Anyway, let me get sidetracked. The platform publishes various rankings, including the top 10 artists in sub-Saharan Africa and the top 10 rappers in Africa, based on streaming data and social media engagement. Also, it tracks hundreds of thousands of African songs globally to measure their popularity and reach and commercial impact. So I did this research to try and find out what Chart Africa is, just to give you guys, some sort of idea of this, who is giving us these numbers about Wizkid, and if there's any sort of, value behind the Chart Africa. Like, I didn't really know, do they really know what they're saying? And from what I've been able to research, it comes across as they do, but then the question is, are the African numbers verifiable? Like, all this data, like, they're saying they're getting it from, the numerous sources that they're tracking across the globe, and the interactions with artists and their engagement with their fans. But is it really, really verifiable? Because even with Spotify, global network, global streaming network, and Apple, we have situations where they are even talking about the fact that their numbers for their artists are inflated. They're not verified, they're paid, they're bots. So if we don't have the situations for established brands that are just new in the stream game and are trying to get in, are trying to understand and create a structure and the market out of the streaming field, how credible is this information? Now, I'm not pro or against Wizkid in any way in terms of my podcast, but as an individual, aside my podcast, I like Wizkid. I'm Wizkid FC. I'm not gonna lie, but still, when I get in this seat and I'm doing my work, Wizkid FC aside, we're talking about the work being unbiased basically, and that's what I'm asking, because as much as I love Wizkid, are these numbers verifiable? Are they verified? Is it real? And if it is, I actually love it. I'm really happy, because they're saying obviously that they got these numbers. The platform established various rankings based on the streaming data and social media engagement. So this streaming data, it tracks hundreds of thousands of African songs globally to measure their popularity, reach, and commercial impact. So that's what they're saying. They're basing as their source of information for these numbers. Then I guess we can give it some credence, because they're probably looking at, okay, how many units sold on Apple and all this for this particular album and all that, and if they're going to those particular platforms to garner this information and then come back and give it to us as, okay, we've gone to Apple, we've gone to Spotify, we've gone across the different platforms that are notable, and this is what Wizkid has sold on them, and it has surpassed, his name is Cheb Khaled, the Algerian musician. Then I will give some credence and legitimacy to those numbers, because it seems like they've gone ahead to do the work aside just social media. But I don't really garner social media. I don't really look at social media engagement as a point of validation, really, because social media can be manipulated. But if you're saying you're going to, even though the streaming platforms themselves can be manipulated with bots, but if they're saying they're going to these platforms and getting this data, which they say they are, that they're tracking the data across the world globally, so I'm believing that means they're saying they are going to these platforms and getting this data, then I will give them some credence, I will give them some value, and I will say, I would listen to that. Now the thing is, the question though is, are streaming platforms transparent? Because even in a situation where streaming platforms are releasing numbers, can we verify that those numbers are real? Are they inflated numbers for some people? You have the situation where you have Drake and Drake and Wizkid, Drake and Kendrick going at it with their beef, and then Drake taking Kendrick to court, and then alleging that Kendrick has paid bots and paid people to inflate his numbers on Apple, his numbers on YouTube, and you haven't taken him to court on his streaming. So if you have artists like that are even questioning the streaming numbers, the values that are coming out of this streaming platforms, then what about us? Like I said, like we, the normal consumers, how are we supposed to even trust these numbers? So it's something that is totally understandable. Do you get? And looking at the streaming platforms and the numbers that they purport, and they say that, like I said, that this particular artist has gotten from his streams and all that, we're still getting to the point where every structure is being made around it, has been understood. So like I had said previously, I congratulate Charts Africa and all the platforms in Nigeria and institutions that are stepping up and taking the mantle to try and present these numbers and try and create a structure and a system where we can validate our own craft, our own artists' crafts, their sounds, and then also give them kudos for their wins and their accomplishments. So yeah, it's a good one, but we're still building. We'll still go into these topics as streaming platforms are growing and getting better. But then we also have the question: do fans weaponize this data to push agendas? Of course, fans weaponize this data to push agendas. Like it's very straightforward, and yeah, it's all banter. Because it's just like now you have the situation where, you know, Wizkid is being named the top artist in Africa now with 20 billion plus streams worldwide, you know. Like, Wizkid SC fans are going to carry it and go. Even that's how when I seen it, and the fan, after seeing that post on Twitter, just went and asked Grok AI, what are Davido and Burna Boy's numbers? Like, obviously, this is what fans do. This is how you engage with. This is fan engagement, you know. And then at the same time, as long as it's banter, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You get what I'm saying? I think fans, the artists themselves like it. They have fans that are riding for them. They have fans that know their songs, know their accomplishments, their losses, that follow them through their whole journey. So yeah, fans are going to use the data of the people that they follow and the artists that they support to weaponize it and, you know, make fun of other people. So it's a normal thing. Do you get me? But while on this chair, like I said, I'll be unbiased. But there's the fact that I fuck with Wiz, big Wiz. That's the homie. At the same time, I enjoy music. And that's why this platform has been created, because we're talking commentary on culture, pushing up the African entertainment scene, Afrobeats, celebrating individuals who have established themselves in different fields, and obviously bringing those individuals on here to have conversations with you, the fans and viewers, and talk about their wins and losses, giving you an opportunity to learn from, and also what you can pick up from their journeys to suit yourself, or if the opportunity arises for you, how you can take advantage of it. So on this platform, we're all about that, you get me? So, well, that doesn't mean that I'm not human and I'm not like who I like, you know, in terms of music. But I like Davido's sound, I love Burna's sound as well, I love his music. But right now, big Wiz is the thing, and like just to be having the conversation. So imagine how fans behave online. You guys know how it is when you go online and you see it. So fans are going to use this data to weaponize and push agendas. It's definitely going to happen. But the thing about it is making sure as we do this, making sure as we do this whole, you know, I support this person, I support that person, we're being respectful to an extent, because most people online are not respectful. Like keyboard warriors, that's what they call them. But they're not really respectful. But try to be respectful, have good banter, support who you support, and just have a good ass time, because that's what entertainment is. It's about making you feel good, you know, forgetting your worries for the moment, or bringing light to certain situations. So, but right now, in terms of weaponizing data to push agendas for fans, yeah, that's a standard. That's definitely gonna happen. But now, and the fact, talking about data, is data now part of artist branding? You have to understand that branding for an artist is literally everything. From your sound to how you look to how you present yourself, how you talk. That's everything right now is branding. And then you have social media, you have the algorithm. So it's all branding. And then is data part of that? Is it an important, intricate part of an artist's branding? Yes, I would say so, but to an extent, because for an artist, you can't have data and not have a brand. And what I mean by that is you cannot be an artist and be thinking, oh, you're just going to hop in the algorithm, spend a lot of money, you know, because they say this sound is good, or you should post at this time, or you should pay here. That's data basically, right? And then you think you just do that without having your own unique sound, your own what makes you unique as an artist, what draws the crowd to you. You know, you don't have any of that, and then all of a sudden you think, nah, it's not gonna work. They go hand in hand. When as an artist you have your own unique sound, you have what works for you, you have what what sets you apart from the other artists, and then you use the data. Okay, cool, I have this, and then what the data helps you build your brand. So yeah, it is data is part of artist branding right now. And but the honest question is rather, at what point did spreadsheets become more important than sound? Spreadsheets never became more important than sound. Algorithm makes it seem like it, but then algorithm only gives you that 15-minute, 20-second fame. And really, and this takes me back to the conversation we had in the previous episode about radio and social media, because social media gives you that instant breakout, but radio gives you longevity. So spreadsheets, spreadsheets are important. You know, they give you the data, they give you an idea of how to establish or attack and do what you want to do. You know, but then it's not more important than sound, because if you don't have that sound, despite if you want to have all the best spreadsheet in the world from whoever, it's not gonna work. Yeah, honestly, you're just gonna waste money. Might as well just go have a 9 to 5. So that's the difference. And in terms of our African sound, and as an artist and individual, you need to have yours. And in terms of our own institution stepping up and giving our own African artists their recognition, and basically compiling their achievements to give us that information, I commend it. And I'm really, really happy about what Charts Africa has done, and I hope they get better and they get bigger with it. You know, this is what we should be doing in Africa, in Nigeria, across our continent. More institutions need to stand up and take the mantle by the horn, and create a structure that like I said, promotes and celebrates our own artists and their craft, because we can't keep relying on Western institutions to do this. Now, going to a bit of hot topic, the Odumodu Black situation. So Odumodu Black finally spoke on Blaqbones and Chocolate City. He gave an interview to Paulys, where they were in his, I think, an Airbnb or something, just where he records, hangs with the gang a bit. And in this interview, Odumodu went on to basically call Chocolate City record label snakes. He said they are snakes and spiders and are complicit in Blaqbones' actions against him. Apparently, the day before Blaqbones dropped the diss track, he got a call from Chocolate City management. He didn't say who. And he was like, they had asked him to please squash the beef with Blaqbones. But the next day, Blaqbones dropped the diss track. I forgot what's the name of that diss track again. Anyway, yeah, so like the next day he dropped the diss track. So Odumodu is like, these guys are playing with me, you get me? And it's like they keep apologizing for Blaqbones. Bigger artists keep calling him to apologize, but Blaqbones himself refuses to apologize. You get me, for his actions. He's trying to maintain an image. That's what Odumodu says. He also says the issue between him and Blaqbones is quite personal, it's quite deep, which is why he never replied to the diss track. You get me? He comes across as implying, or he implies that he won't use this particular issue for commercial purposes or purpose. He went on to say multiple artists have issues with Chocolate City, calling out a few people who have called out MI and whatnot. But he is open to forgiving Blaqbones if Blaqbones has a contrite heart. So this Blaqbones Odumodu situation it started off the year, where Blaqbones dropped the diss track, going out Odumodu really aggressively. Really aggressively, if I say so. It's actually quite sad, actually. But it's sad and disappointing. It's sad because we won't get to to get a reply from Odumodu on this issue, on that particular track. That he's not going to reply. It doesn't seem like he's going to do, and it's disappointing that he won't. But I understand, and then you have to get to the point where we're looking at personal and commercial beef. You get me? So if something is personal and this person has really wronged you and done something really, really, painful to you as an individual, and then the person has people calling you, or his bosses are calling you, apologizing and trying to get you to stop or not comment on it, then this person goes around to start talking about you and disrespecting you, insulting you, and then goes online to insult you and all that. It's like I understand him not going back, because I understand Odumodu not going back at Blaqbones, because this is personal. This is something I'm not trying to do no commercial beef over. You get me? This is something that when I see you, we see, because what you've done is on some messed up thing. Do you understand? So that's the impression Odumodu is giving about this whole situation. Commercial beef is different. He had said, if you give an example of SK. SK is a Abuja rapper who had a really, really huge breakout track called Agbalaba. But unfortunately, he hasn't really followed up with another big track after that. But he and Odumodu were close at a point. Odumodu was even featured on the Agbalaba track, but apparently they had a falling out. But Odumodu mentions that and says, "Yo, yeah, that's something that's my bro. We can commercial beef. That can be done commercial beef. We can talk about it. Probably even rap about it. There's nothing there, but we're still guys." But this thing is on a personal. This thing with Blaqbones is different. It's personal, and he did not say that's why he didn't reply, but the anchor, the guy who was interviewing him, and said, okay, so it was so personal, that's why he didn't reply. Now the model kind of alluded to that's why. So I totally understand in terms of personal and commercial beef and not wanting to address certain things because they're too personal to you and it's not for the world. And then it's worse when the person who's out there talking and being loud about the whole thing is someone who messed up and did something to you and has other people calling you. So I totally understand Odumodu's frustration and anger towards Blaqbones, and at this point, I even commend him for saying he's open to forgiving Blaqbones, because that's a Christian man right there. It's a Christian bro. Like, yo, yeah, I'm not God, and if God can forgive me for something, why can't I forgive a human being? Yes, I'm not God, and yes, I have how I feel, and I'm human. I would be mad at someone, but if he has a contrite heart, I will forgive him. Which was big ups to Odumodu. I actually really, really rate him. Someone might say it's strategic silence, but I don't think it is. Because Odumodu is the best rapper right now out of Nigeria. Out of Africa, really. He is, for me, the best rapper out of Africa. So he doesn't need to be strategically silent. He just dropped a new track, They Love Me or something, and They're Too Shy. But I can't remember the name. But that's literally the hook for it, kind of. So and the track went over how many K views in a day. So he's one of the biggest rappers out of Africa, not the biggest rapper out of Africa currently. So he doesn't need to be strategically silent for anybody. This is just something that really affected him and hurt him deeply, especially coming from the fact that he and Blaqbones had a good relationship when he had originally come into the industry and Odumodu had broken into the industry. He had a friendship with Blaqbones, or he thought he did, and then for this to happen, and then Blaqbones taking the piss by dropping a diss track, that's just taking it too far. So I see Odumodu's point of view, and honestly, I do not fault him for not replying and deciding for not replying Blaqbones and deciding to keep some distance from Blaqbones. The Paul's interviewer did ask him about his Odumodu's interaction with Blaqbones' manager backstage. And Odumodu was just like, yo, you're just teasing her. Sorry, it was just funny the way he said it. He was like, you're just teasing her, it didn't mean anything. So I see what he's saying, because he was just trying to irritate Blaqbones, I guess, by having it get back to Blaqbones that he had met up with the manager and was asking about Blaqbones. I think that's what he was trying to do. But it was nothing beyond surface level with the manager who he had met back at the backstage. Well, he has bare issues with Blaqbones himself and no one else, and he has issues with Chocolate City because Chocolate City, he feels, are complicit in Blaqbones' actions, and for them to keep pushing his music and calling him behind closed doors, talk about forgiving Blaqbones, but they are pushing the music, they are talking about him in ways that he doesn't like, So I totally see Odumodu's point of view, and I don't blame him at all. And if they never settle their beef, it is what it is. But he said he's open to it if Blaqbones has a contrite heart. Now it's for Blaqbones to come and have a contrite heart. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, Odumodu will expand more on this topic, and then we'll be able to cover it and give you guys our views on it. As that's why it's called Views from Paulys Dem Podcast. You get me? Well, yeah. So we also have the situation where in that same interview, they spoke about Wavestar. So a clip had gone viral, where Odumodu confronted a young artist called Wavestar who was just breaking out on the scene. So backstory, Wavestar had, the original backstory, let me go there. What went viral was a clip of Odumodu confronting Wavestar, questioning him as to why he didn't greet him when he saw him, and why he was, it seemed, not being respectful to him, especially after he had helped him. Now, the backstory to that clip from the interview is this. So Odumodu, a video was made of Odumodu vibing to Wavestar's music, the single that had broken him out. And then someone from Odumodu's camp, Smada, made a video of Odumodu vibing to that song and sent it to Wavestar's camp, either his Wavestar or Wavestar's manager. So this was the knowledge of Odumodu and the permission for Wavestar to use it to push his music, promote the music that, he's got Odumodu vibing to it. Fast forward, I think a few months after that or so, they were all at a show together, and this is where the video came out from, where Odumodu Wavestar saw Odumodu, and according to Odumodu, here and Wavestar were like 5 feet apart from each other, and Wavestar did not acknowledge Odumodu. He didn't talk to him, he didn't try and hail him, nothing. And that really irked Odumodu, because he is someone who, whenever he goes to any situation, any establishment, and he sees anyone, whether he has worked with the person or not, whether the person has helped him or not, if he sees someone that he believes is a legend in the game, or someone who is a bigger artist than he is in an establishment, he goes there, pays his respect, and goes out. So he was saying he doesn't understand what's up with these young artists and their lack of humility and respect, especially when someone has done you a favor. So he's coming from the perspective of, we're standing 5 feet away from each other. You saw me, you didn't say shit. Even after I had done you a favor where Smada made a video of me vibing to your music and sent to your team or to you, and you posted that, and that garnered you views and more likes or whatever for your music, because you have someone of my caliber vibing to it. And he said that he's comparing himself like Burna. The way Burna is to him, that's how he is to Wavestar. You get me? Bruh! Oh, see? Bruh! Yeah, daddy. You get me? Like, no, I had to do that because, man, like, I had to give him some gunshot. Because now, what do you mean? The way Burna is to me, that's what I am to you. I don't give you that respect. But I understand where he's coming from, and I understand his sentiments, you get me? And I get what he's saying, but I'll continue to explain it. So he had said that, so obviously he felt like after everything you did everyone, and the worst part was, I was standing 5 feet away from this guy. He saw me clearly and didn't talk to me. So I decided to confront him and school the young man. And he said even after he told him what he did was wrong and educated him on how to move, in future, he still asked him, are you feeling nervous about your performance? So, he's coming up from the point of view that, I'm just out here to educate these guys. Though. I'm not trying to be I don't feel entitled to his respect. And that's, if you watch the episode where I actually covered this originally, I had said that it comes across as feeling entitled, and he didn't have to ask the guy, why didn't you respect me? I didn't know this backstory originally, to be fair, but at the same time I had said, why there was no need for him to have confronted the guy. He just let it go and just marked it in his head. But Odumodu goes on to say, no, in doing that was teaching this guy that, even if it's not me, in future, when you meet someone who is, a bigger artist or something, whether it helps you or not, you should go and network, go and say hello, because it might end up helping you. And And worst off is when you even actually have helped this person. You've done something in some capacity to help this person, you know, be a better version of themselves or grow something or grow their business. You know, he's coming across as you should in some way somehow show appreciation, because it didn't take anything from him to help, you know, the young guy called Wave Star, but that's the sign of appreciation would have gone a long way. So Odumodu just coming across like, yo, he's just, you know, he's just trying to give the guy some advice, and he's schooling he's schooling the younger generation, the youngest, because that's his job here. He's here to change the narrative, change the game, and hate him or like him, you know, he has a clear conscience about how he's going about things. You get me? And some people might say, yo, is Odumodu asking, is Odumodu mentoring or intimidating? After listening to that statement, and then at the question, when they ask that question, is it mentoring or is it intimidating? It depends on who you ask, and it depends on how they feel about Odumodu. Because the interviewer had also brought up the fact, like I mentioned, that he's got a lot of people who have a lot of misconceptions about him because of his lyrics and sometimes the way he sounds or his tweets and whatnot. And it's like, as long as he knows what he's doing with a clear conscience, he doesn't care about what people look at him as, in quotes. So that question that I just put out there, is Odumodu mentoring or intimidating? It depends on who you ask. If you ask me, listening to his explanation, as much as I feel that there was a better way to go about it, I feel like he's mentoring the fellow. Do you understand? He didn't care about the greeting. He didn't care about the respect. He was just like, yo, if you're in this business and you're trying to grow, this is what you need to do to grow, so you can be endearing towards people, or rather people can be endearing towards you. If that makes sense, you know, like people see, oh, like you're respectful, and as much as we don't like it, that's the culture we come from. Africa, Nigeria, we're all about respect. The Northerners, you squat when you're greeting your elders. The Hausas, you dobale, you lay on the floor when you're not Hausas. The Yorubas, you lay on the floor when you're greeting your elders. You know, different tribes have different manners in which you greet your elders. So, is it wrong for him to bring it into the entertainment industry? I don't feel no, because this is our culture. And I was just talking about the fact that we need our own African institutions recognizing our own African artists. So we can't keep relying on the Western vibe on how they do things. Yeah, over there, a guy, maybe someone could care less about saying hi to someone who probably helped him, or whether they didn't. But over here, I think him putting out there like, yo, like, respect is something that we do here. And I personally, and I don't see anything wrong with that. That's his perspective on things. Everyone has a perspective on how he should have handled it, but personally, I don't think it was wrong. And being as he's actually helped the guy, at some point he has a little bit to say. Yes, how he went about it, like I said, could have been better, but in the general view of things, I don't think, you know, he was wrong. And so, and the question at the same time, I have another question: is, does status demand greeting? Now I bring up that question because that's what some people might say. Oh, because he feels like he is, like, because he said, oh, he's like Burna Boy, just like Burna Boy is to him. That's how he feels like he is. Excuse me. That's how he feels like he is to this other younger stars, artists. So in that way, I don't think he's using the status to demand greeting, but he's bringing it up as another thing as well. That, yo, this is another side thing, or that I'm actually, you know, on this level compared to these guys, and for me to have done that, you know. But I think the main gist, you know, is that, yo, you need to be humble, you need to be respectful, and you need to, it's not kissing ass, but at least to get, realistically, to get to wherever you want to get to, you have to kiss ass. You have to kiss somebody's ass in one way, somehow, some shape or form. You have to say hi, you have to mingle with someone you don't like, you have to smile in some type of way. I'm not saying you should take anything that like abuse or insult, no, that's not it. But in terms of going up the ladder, you have to be able to mingle with people, be able to network. For it, like, no man is an island. So I think that's the main gist is trying to get across to the young, that no man is an island. It's an island. You have to network, and you have to do it properly and respectfully. So yeah, that's, I don't think he's using his status to demand greeting, but that's a question that, you know, I believe will probably come up when people hear when people listen to his interview and watch it. So me, I'm just going out and I'm saying this is my opinion about it. Everyone has their own opinion and that's fair. Then you also have the situation where we're saying is calling out humility publicly necessary. Now this is where I'm going to say no. Despite his intentions, despite how he feels and how right he is about feeling the way he's feeling, I don't believe that he should have called him out publicly. Now that's just me. Personally, I would let it go. But like I said, Odumodu is someone who wears his heart on his sleeve. He tells you how he feels. That's it. And he's letting you know. Odumodu is not scared of anybody apart from Jesus, apart from God. That Jesus and God. These are the only people. Jesus is God. So he's only scared of Jesus and our Lord God Almighty. That is all. Anybody else, go to hell. You know, so that like when, and even though someone might say, yo, it's not really productive in this time and age where you have to be careful of what you say and how you say it, and perception is everything. Yeah, that's fair to bring up, but that's for someone who cares. Odumodu doesn't care. So saying but personally, yes, it's calling out the humility. It's calling out humility publicly necessary. No, but depending on the individual that you mess with. If he knew he was not going to say hi to Odumodu or anything, he shouldn't have posted the video now. He should have just left it that, oh, Odumodu advised my video, nice one. I should have left it there. But he posted it, so the fact that Wavestar went ahead to post that, I feel the least he owed Odumodu was, you know, OG, nice one, I appreciate you, thank you for that. And keep it moving, there's nothing there. But yo, like, this is episode 7, man. This is episode 7, man. You get me? This is episode 7, man. You get what I'm saying? So we're doing the thing, yeah. Now to the main, that like one of my favorite parts of episode 7. We're gonna do some music review segments. So I listened to some dope tracks that dropped, you know, this week. Joshua Baraka had Morocco featuring Shenseea. Go on, baby girl, what you say? Yeah, go on, baby girl, man, a bad man, you know. I love you so, Shenseea. But yeah, so Morocco dropped Joshua Baraka dropped the track with Shenseea. Then we have Adenkule Gold with Davido. So the track with Shenseea, the Joshua Baraka track, is Morocco, is a remix. But you know what? I'm gonna go through the thing. We're gonna play a bit of it. You know, I did a little playlist. Let's see how it's sounding. You know, let's see what the vibes is. You get what I'm saying, and then we'll decide from there. You get me? Like the thing should be. Okay, let's do this. We're gonna start with just Joshua Baraka and Shenseea Morocco remix. Let's go.
Just touched down Morocco, intimate vibe with a local. Fine girl, so she wanna take a photo. Wanna get a perk and just send me the toto. Living life like a girl from the lotto. Out of space with my G's and solo. Living life, baby, that's the motto. Nabagamba, the movie never be that solo. Yeah. Bad girl rise from the ghetto. Be a flag but never go like Nepo. No, me make it when them try sue me. I'm a real bullshit, my life in short like Gecko. Manifest everything chant it like a song.
In short, like Gecko. Gecko is an insurance company in the States, yeah? Yeah, Gecko is an insurance company in the States that does insurance. For those who wonder what she means, in short, like Gecko. Let's go.
Put in the time on us, but they got the class. I party with my friend them. Father guide and protect them. All we want. Everybody want the dollar sign, dollar sign, dollar sign, dollar sign, dollar. And if you spend it, me a bust a wine, bust a wine, bust a wine. Me a bend over. Yeah. Sorry, papi. Sorry, daddy. Me want no meant to be. You just found me funny, and I love it when I dollar wine, dollar wine, dollar wine, dollar bend over. Yeah, dollar.
Okay, so. Well, that's Shensea's verse. You guys can go listen to the full thing. You get me? Let me go to the next track. You know, that's Black Sheriff, Top of the Morning. Let's go. I actually really like this song.
Decisions time, baby. see dog, it's why tryna flip from to a big man, to a big one. Make my mind. If we love, I am going mental. Sweetie force with the minister to you. I'm trying to focus, so I just be here with it. Go easy with it, I'm not hearing it. Now me sound so much leader, so me sit out delay and carry my machete. Then I go on the chest, no smile on my face, so who be my shaky? I was
Okay. That's Black Sheriff, top of the morning, guys. You get me? That's a team. That's a banger. So, like, you get me? We listen to Joshua Baraka and Shenseea so far. The remix of Morocco, I love it. Shenseea killed it. She killed us. You know, Shenseea is a bad girl. You get me? And we have right now Black Sheriff, top of the morning. Dope track. Black Sheriff stuck to what he usually does, which is melodies with like a slow bounce, slow bop, and then he's giving you straight lyrics. Go listen to it. Let's go to number 3, Adekle Gold, featuring Davido. You get me? Only God can save me.
If you wonder what I look my God. Only God can save me. How do I look away when these fine girls want me? Yeah, life is for living. Something must kill him, and Baba Shama show me. Baba Shama show me. Baby, my baby, you're such a beautiful liar. You get it over to my plan B. This equation no balance. Shiba, don't cry me a river, just like the others. You're taking it too far. I get it, go keeper, I just want the winger. Omo hero, premium lady PXO. Omo hero, drive me crazy tornado. They make me get shockable. Don't be I say so eto. Omo hero, drive me crazy. Only God can save me. How do I look away when these fine girls want me? Yeah. Life is for living. Something must kill him, and Baba Shama show me.
Adekle Gold is married though. This is why you are saying something must kill him, man. Bro, you see me catch you.
Baba Shama show me.
This is OBO. I had to take it back to the OBO. Look, I couldn't just start OBO's track without giving it some special, because OBO killed it. I'm not gonna lie. OBO killed it the way he entered. Let's go.
What can I say when all these fine girls stay dancing over me? Taking what's more on me, and they want a piece of me. Yeah. Who say love no cause they think never go market? This expensive dating food got me spending like a fool. If you're looking for love, I'm the wrong one. Holding a while, you're wrong. Me shitty pain, I'm not wrong. I'm far gone. You know, the day where I did me, you come on. I don't need to talk, happy forever. Don't be my fault, no they matter. Only God can save me. How do I look away when it?
Yeah, so that's only God. That's only God can save me. You get me? A track by Adekle Gold featuring Davido. Now let's go to the next one. This is Fino and Flavor, Uzoano. Let's see what it's saying. Fino came back with this. Let's see what Fino is saying. I know Flavor is going to slay anything he's on.
Anya fugo kumo, pana choko kumyo, mana dera maka, mwaga na church, kibe mabande mo. Katola no tutu, gote coconut, but why is it not? Madame, why is it not? Yeah, Ajibo, why is it not? Yeah. Same OGs, efficient with the zeros, now my bank account. And I'm game on my nose, I'm chim when I tap a pad. Live up to my name, let my music in my 9 to 5. Now I'm also my shame packing, I might pack and love. Turn it up a notch, did everything they say can't be done. Go against the odds, now I have a touch. been around the world, and I'm still the one. For my peace, if you want one Lord, that will be done.
I get so many reasons why I can't give up. Oh, when I remember where I come from, I can't fuck up. Change no blessings, but why you say no? When you share the cake, but why you say no?
Yeah, Ajibo, why you say no?
I can never lose, no matter what thing they come my way. Time and draw you, and you
Jeez, live. Yo, so that was, you know, the bad man Fino and bad boy flavor, you get me? Flavor one was it? Flavor one man, yeah. Flavor one man, yeah. Yeah, that was a track, that was one. But let's go on to Sarkodie. Sarkodie is a Ghanaian artist, he's a Ghanaian rapper who has been on the scene for years. He's been doing his thing for years, guys. Absolutely doing his thing for years. Dropped bangers across different decades, man, right from when he came out. So this is a new track with him and Yardman. Yardman is Young L. Now Young L is someone who came on the scene with Fever. A lot of people don't know him. But he had this other track, hold on. Yardman, yeah, he had the other track, SOS. SOS, that was a track. And then he had with Eve Bounce, that's the one that he featured Wizkid on. It was a remix. And the thing is, he was actually called a new sound by a Billboard article, you know, apparently, but he just went cold afterwards. So now he's back on this track with Sarkodie, who is someone he's worked with before back in the day. So let's see what they're saying. I actually liked it when I heard it the first time. Let's go.
They say that you win or you lose. You gotta keep it going, don't get it confused. Life is for the strong, so the path that you choose. Don't you focus on your flaws, cause they be fucking with you. Had a rough beginning, I thought I was lost. Stabbed in the back by the people I trust. Like Jesus, I died on the cross, but I'm gonna smile on my feet till I cry in the Porsche. Keep applying the force and stay on your course. And Burna Boy said me today I'm the boss. I wasn't mad when these people were closing the doors, cause I knew that God had a purpose for me, and of course nobody said that it was gonna be smooth and all rosy. Bet you thought it was you, but God chose me. Say the TV I don't fan, we don't fold. I'm a wolf, cover the sheep close, so don't poke me. I go hard, obstacles I break through. I don't stop, still hustle to make moves. I was born winner, don't follow, I break rules. Gotta squeeze the hell out of fruits to make juice.
If I tell you things with my eyes see.
Gotta squeeze the hell out of fruits to make juice. Okay, Sarkodie, I see you.
You don't think that the young is only. Many people try to run me.
This is Yardman actually, Young L Yardman. He's a bad boy. He's a bad boy.
But me I thank God for you. But if I tell you things with my eyes see, you don't think that the young is only. Many people try to run me over. But me I thank God for you. Ayo. Any weapon from the go cast and jam. Ayo.
Hustle like I never had.
Aye, that's Sarkodie and Yardman. Okay, so now we're gonna go to Mavo Temu Weto. Mavo came on the scene a couple of years ago. He's been grinding, and then he just literally blew out properly when he featured Wizkid on a track called Money Constant, and he got featured on the track with DJ Moforisa, and he's just been going and like coming out with bangers since last year, and now he's got this track called Temu Weto. And the funny thing is, the young man is actually a medical student in uni, so that's quite interesting, fun fact. But let's see what he dropped with this new track, Temu Weto.
Don't worry for poor people. Yeah, me I do the plan to finish at this war. All the characteristics of all the cocoa. Baby, let me know say I'm on the cocoa. Why you wanna follow me to back on Monday? She not follow you on Monday. Kilo better day, kilo better no friend for you. Baby, say you know I'm my baby. Baby, say you ignore the message I sent to you. I'm sorry, I kilo gon' call me. You fell off, I'm a logo cover me. So why you gonna boo me, Pamela? full of where they take you to Santorini, move up. Or you know feel it, make you no go late. Make you no go late, so you're like a point where, so you're like a point where you see wine us. You say you get bubble, mama come pass, say now you shop pass. Every attack up, say now to the say now to my window. Just my song for the 10th day. The baby say I know that it's 10th day. Every attack the club, say now to people, say now to my window. Just my song for the 10th day. The baby say I know that it's 10th day. What she want you, all I do.
Yo, it's quite exciting, man. Mavo, Sumo Weto, you guys go check it out. You know, the new music, I actually really like it. It's maybe on Paulys Den Pod, you know, top 100. We're going to be dropping a top monthly top 10. Paulys Den monthly top 10 is going to be coming very soon. So like, I like this. I like this track from Mavo. It's actually a really good track for the youngins. You know, it's part of the new age, new vibe. You know, coming out with a pop, you know, more of the sound and then like lower lyrics, but lower voice lyrics and more of the sound and engineering. But I like it. I like the vibe. I really like the vibe. Something you hear in the club, you know, have a good time. Yo, big ups Mavo. So that's Mavo Tumuweto. Now let's do Show Day. This is the track I really like. Like among all the tracks I've played apart from my Shensia Baby, you know, I'll say apart from the Joseph Baraka track featuring Shensia, the Morocco remix, this is the track I really mess with. Like this track, yo.
Oh, Baba, yeah.
This from Shode featuring Bad Boy
Madum, DJ America. You go better than $2 Abasha. Oh, Tomo Korea, Fitakara. If I see first money, Mama Salo Canada. Oh, Baba, now I'm so oh, my money, only transaction to my change.
So that's basically been, you know, new music for this week. You know, we've run through a few people. You get me? Big ups to Joshua Baraka, Adekunle Gold, Black Sheriff, Fino, Sarkodia, Shode, Mavo. Now y'all did the thing. Go check them out. Go check out the new music. You know how it go. We got to give them that. You know, we have to give them that. I have to give them that. You get me? You get me? Some gunshots in the air. Those are some teams. Just study that Shode. That Shode track. Nah, that's good. Y'all can see me. I'll give you. Yo, man. That was lit right there. That was lit. You get me? So we've just done our songs of the week, which I really like. You know, every single track's been nice. Even the track with Fino and Flavor, despite the fact that obviously he was speaking in the traditional Igbo tongue, Fino killed that thing as always, man. So yeah, big ups all the artists. Please keep releasing new music. And then now, the final segment of the pod, we're gonna have to go through the cultural wild card. Oh my days. So, Omotola is trending, right? Omotola is trending, and this is like, oh wow, okay, so how do we even cover this? I'll be honest with you, when I saw this, I was a bit like, yeah, like this doesn't sound good. So let's just get straight into it. Omotola did an interview, and allegedly, according to her, she said, you get me, that. Okay, you know what? So Omotola did, veteran actress Omotola Jalade Ekiende. Now she's one of the legends, veteran legends in Nollywood. Like during she was the original, when they say the hotties, the baddies of Nollywood when it started, when it became really proper. Like, you know, her, Rita Dominic, Genevieve Nanji, just the off the top of my head, you know, no disrespect to other ones, I can't really remember them properly, but you were like, you know, they had a lot of people going crazy and everything. So she basically has said social media buzzing after revealing that she was once gifted a car, even while married. Speaking to Niger FM 102.7, the screen icon dismissed claims that women don't dominate Nollywood. Now, she was talking about Nollywood in general and women being, you know, the leading force behind Nollywood, and then it trickled down to this. So she says, insisting that women are the real backbone of the industry. Women are the ones who hold Nollywood. She said, stressing that many female actors are not just performers, but business owners, influencers, producers, and entrepreneurs. According to her, most actresses she knows run multiple businesses alongside their acting careers, with some even maintaining full-time professions. But it was her candid confession about receiving expensive gifts that went ham, that went viral. You know, so she said women have admirers. Allegedly, she said she who is married, she knows how many people, but here in Nigeria we have that sound when the lighters come back. Yeah, but anyway, back to her saying, she was saying Omotola was saying she who is married, allegedly she said she who is married, she knows how many people have gifted her things, women and men. They will just see her and say, Omotola, I'm sending you this. They've gifted her a car before, and when asked if the car was returned because she's already married, the actress responded bluntly, no. Why would I return the car? Omotola credited her husband's confidence for smooth handling of such situations, describing him as the most secure human being you can ever see. Giskia. You can ever beat. Yeah, think about it. How would you marry how would you marry Omosexy? She said, hold on, she said, I'm so sorry, this is busted, right? So think about it. How will you marry an Omosexy if you're not secure? Hey, what lucky. Jeez, Omosexy. And like she quipped. Basically, social media has been going off. Now, before I get into this, I have to say, this is alleged, right? She said allegedly she said these things. And then allegedly, all she said is social media went crazy with some lady called Genevieve Mbama allegedly said that. Allegedly, I had to protect myself. But she said that allegedly, Omotola had an open marriage with her husband, not verified, please, not verified. And a lot of comments literally went at her saying, you know, she comes from this is allegedly she has or she had an open marriage with her husband, the captain, and he just let her do her thing so he can do his thing. So one of the Twitter users said, you let your husband go and buy a car for a woman, let's see your reaction. Nigerians. Yeah, but so that's what literally said the whole internet was like, no. So questions like, the angles of this, married women receiving expensive gifts. Is there any reason a married woman should not receive expensive gifts from admirers, male or female, and if she has fans? Personally, see, that's something that you have to ask the person you're with. Like she said, he's the most secure man ever. So regardless of whatever accusations are being thrown against that situation, but she's saying he's the most secure man ever. I'm going to take her point of view of face value, and maybe that's just something that he doesn't mind, you know. But personally, I won't accept it. My woman can't be accepting gifts from people. a car and all that. Like what the hell? Like what's that supposed to mean? Like no man, even if you're a celebrity, nah, that doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, it doesn't come across as something that I personally would accept. Now, any other person, their right to decide on whether they accept or agree, or with their woman accepting expensive gifts from admirers or fans or whatnot. But personally, I feel like once you're married, right, there's some things that you just kind of don't. There's some boundaries that should not be crossed. And in terms of buying gifts for someone's wife, buying a car, like if they buy the car and they say, "Yo, okay, boss man, this is the car for you and your wife. You get me. This is my gift to you guys as a couple." I think that's a different conversation. But say they give her the car, like I'm sending you this, and then she went and told her husband, "Oh, one guy or one of my fans that's a female or male got me a car." That's a different conversation entirely. So I think that's two different perspectives. Do you understand? Is it from the perspective of, did the person buy the car and gift it to her and her husband, or did they buy it just for her and then she went to tell her husband? If it's the latter, then I don't think, if it's the latter, which is that she just got the car and went to go tell her husband, I am not in support of that. I feel there are boundaries that should not be crossed regardless of how big of a celebrity you are. Someone should go and buy Beyonce car now. Go and say you want to buy Beyonce car, let JayZ see you. Like that things that as a man is just what it is. As a couple, as a married couple, there are certain boundaries that are not crossed. If you go and meet the man or you meet two of them, let not make it seem like some male dominated thing. But as a couple, if you go and meet the couple, say, "Yo, how far Omotola and I don't know husband's name, and whoever it is, like, yo, I feel like I wanna your wife is such an icon. Like I would like to gift you guys a car, or is it okay?" Like at least give the man the chance to know what's going on. That is very puzzling. That for me, it's even more puzzling that she even come out and say that, knowing the kind of temperature she knows Nigerians can be on, But yeah, like that's my personal opinion. At least you should give the man the option to say no before you go and accept gifts from someone else as a married couple. Do you understand? And then the whole narrative about her husband being secure, I feel is literally like is unnecessary because no one cares. What your husband is your business. Everyone want to hear that. Once everyone hears that, you understand? Once everyone heard and comprehended that she's talking about receiving gifts as cars, whatever, as a married wife, everyone is gonna attach their emotions to what you say. Do you understand? So that also lets out, like she knows how social media outrage culture is. She's been in this. She blew up right before social media, but during the reign of social media, Omosexy was one of the hottest stars. Even though other people have come up and everything, but she's one of the pioneers. And in terms of like sexy, beautiful women, she is one of them. So she should definitely have understood or known that, okay, these comments are gonna bring out a lot of outrage on social media, because that's social media, man. Once you say something that is out of pocket or doesn't conform to the norm, you are going to get it. So I totally understand what social media is saying, and then that also asks, should public figures share everything? Like that also brings the question: should public figures share everything? Even though you're a public figure, you're a human, right? So yes, you're gonna have your moments. You're gonna make your mistakes. You're gonna have your cravings, whatever they may be, because you are human. But you are a public figure, so that on its own sets you apart and brings you to such a level of scrutiny, unfair as it may be. But that they say, heavy is the head that wears the crown. From whom much is given, much is expected. So if it was a regular Joe on the street, no one is going to care that his wife collects, like, except the person tells his guys or something. But you being a public figure, they feel like you have such an influence and a loud voice. A lot of people might feel like, okay, you know what, you're going against your principles and trying to influence other women, even though it's just you speaking your truth. What you saying is what happens, oh, my husband is this. Nigerians, especially Nigerians, the internet doesn't care, number one. The internet doesn't like rights, it just likes noise. That's one. But no disrespect, with what she said is definitely gonna cause a lot of outrage. And then you have the question: is she empowering women or is she oversharing? I don't see anything empowering in that statement. I apologize. Personally, I don't see anything empowering in telling us how you receive expensive gifts as a married wife from people and your husband is okay with that. Like, the narrative is just a bit off. And then obviously you have the alleged conversations coming up and accusations from people like the Genevieve Mbana personality on Twitter and other Twitter personalities coming out and saying allegedly that, you know, Omotola has an arrangement with her husband, wherever it may be, and that has not been proven or verified. So I'm putting out allegedly there, please. This is not proven or verified. These are just statements and reactions and replies people have had on Twitter and social media platforms at what she has said about receiving gifts and whatnot. So really, she put herself in this situation. She could have kept it to herself and just stuck to talking about how women in Nollywood are you know, leading the pack and handling and, you know, leading the genre, but bringing it home and to our personal business gave the internet and Nigerians the freedom to comment and bash. So yeah, it is what it is, man. Unfortunately, it is what it is. So for the people out there, I get what you're saying. I see where you're coming from, and for Omotola Sexy, you know, Omosexy, I understand, and all I can say is you're a public figure, and this is what comes being a public figure at the end of the day. So yeah, so like, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 7. Do you understand? Episode 7 has been so crazy. Now, there's a topic I've been, like, throughout this whole episode, right? I've been thinking, should I cover this topic? Should I just leave it and let it go? You know what? I'm just gonna give it because there's no verified facts to this. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know, and that's why. Give me a second. And that's why this episode is tagged charts, clout, and culture. You know, yes, it's one hit wonder or global force, but the main subtitle is charts, clout, and culture. We've spoken about a lot of things cultural wise, you know, charts with Wizkid and Rema, you know, breaking the bounds. And oh yeah, by the way, Rema took over Wizkid's longest lasting album on the world, on Billboard's world album ranking, whatever. For that 170 weeks of Rema's took over Wizkid. That's just by the way. But took over Wizkid as the longest album on the Billboard charts, you get me? But now this is what I want to talk about. Vlad TV. Okay, so Vlad TV, DJ Vlad is claiming, allegedly, he's claiming that JayZ paid him off in covering this whole Tory Lanez case. He is claiming that JayZ paid off the jury, the judge, and the doctor, and that the shooting case was manipulated. Now, here's the whole thing. This is a very bold claim from Vlad. Like, this is huge for someone like Vlad with his platform, you know, to put himself out there and make this kind of statement against Jigga who don't play. This is really huge. But then it's like, why do conspiracy narratives spread so quickly? Because the minute he dropped this on, it was everywhere. And that's why I went back to say about Omotola's situation, that the internet is all about what's the messiest thing that can get out there, because everyone wants to hear gist. But at the end of the day, you know, they don't really care about what the fact may be or not. It's just about the gist. And then you have the situation where are the platforms benefiting from these sensational claims? Yes, because the platforms are going to have a lot of clicks, a lot of visits. You know, oh wow, this guy said this and this about JayZ. Whether it's true or not, they're going to have the visits, the eyes on it, that, yo, how dare this person say it? Do you understand? And yes, another question might be, does controversy drive views in media culture? Of course it does. Of course it does. And the thing is, that's why as a media personality, you have to be very responsible about what you put out and what you say, because it can have far-reaching impact. Like, and with someone like JayZ, who is, you know, who he is, a figure of the community and all that, you know, and Vlad TV being such a huge figure, Vlad TV should definitely understand that what he's saying is really damaging to JayZ's image, and he can have there's serious repercussions that can come from that. You know, that's why media personalities, you have to be very, very careful about what you do, what you put out there, you know, and make sure you research and put. You can't just be putting out conspiracy theories and just because you're trying to get views and whatnot, garner likes. No, you can't do that, because you're first of all you're destroying a person's reputation by doing that without verifying anything, and then and at the same time you are opening yourself up for serious legal damage if that person decides to go at you. Do you understand? So on this whole issue with Vlad and JayZ, I do not have the information, so I don't agree with what he's saying, and I do not go against what he's saying. I have no idea and I have no business in any of it. I'm just covering the fact that, like, as a media personality, if you do put out unverified facts, this is very damaging to someone. And at the same time, the narratives that and at the same time, I'm trying to ask, why is it that, you know, conspiracy theory and narratives are what a lot of people like spewing on their platforms just to gather likes and whatnot and following and views on their platforms? Like, that's one of the sickest and dumbest things people can do, because not only are you destroying lives, but you're opening yourself up to irreparable damage, legal damage. You understand what I'm saying? So I'll ask, and I'll hope people who own platforms, bloggers, whatever, just move smarter. And whatever Vlad has going on with him, you know, I wish him the best. I'm not consigning Vlad's statements. I'm just talking about what's going on. I'm talking about how platforms are misused. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning into episode 7, Culture, Clout and Charts. I hope you've had a great time. Like, subscribe, share. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell button. When you like, share and subscribe, we get into the algorithm. I appreciate you guys so much. Please make sure you look out for our merchandise that's coming out very soon. Follow us on all social media platforms at PaulysDenPod on every social media platform. Thank you guys for joining us in this journey. I can't wait to see you guys on episode 8. Bruh! It's your boy Paul Jr. Paul Angya Jr. You get me? Alright, yeah.